Dear Shahrukh Khan, you may remember meeting me in London in ICICI function when I asked Shahrukh, your mother was diabetic and left this world without seeing you at the top of your career. You wish both your parents could see what you are now, and that's why you put on makeup every day and go to work in the hope that both your parents could see your achievements. My mother too was diabetic and left this world with the dire effects of diabetes caused to her health. Both of us couldn't do as much as we would have liked to for our parents. Shahrukh, you told me in presence of 600 people in that function that you would help me if I were to do something for the diabetics in India. Shahrukh, our parents have gone. But there's a chance to do something for the living. This is the reason both my wife and I have left life of luxury and come to India so that we could launch awareness campaign which I hope can be noticed by the common man so that some of the 40 million diabetic people in India could be helped. Let me give you a short introduction who I am and what my foundation is doing in the UK. I was brought up in busy streets of Old Delhi. I was only 18 years old when I went to the UK. I was young and full of ambition. When in UK, all that I remember that I worked and worked. God gave me an opportunity to go into business. I now employ 300 people with a turnover of $215 million. I'm married with 3 children and 5 grandchildren. 3 years ago, a team of doctors from National Health Service UK contacted me. They were screening Asian people for blood pressure, cholesterol, and diabetes. Over 40% of the people screened didn't know that they were diabetic. I joined hands with doctors and a charity, Healthy Heart Institute, was founded. This good work is being done in England now. I thought, why shouldn't I do the same in India, my homeland? 47 years later, I'm back in India. I want to establish the charity Healthy Hearts here too. I have now joined a very able team of doctors in Delhi. They are prepared to help, but I know from experience that we need the moral support of well-known personalities who have already made a mark in life. This was my short introduction. It's important to understand our project in England. We go to temples, gurdwaras, mosques, community centers to screen people for blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar. Over 50% of 4,000 people we screened were found to be diabetic, and over 40% of them didn't even know that they were diabetic. It's alarming.
Let us briefly understand the damage diabetes does to your body. It damages your kidney, liver, the most precious thing, the eyesight, and then later on life-threatening diseases like heart attack and stroke.
In England, we have more resources to tackle the situation. The real challenge is how we are going to prevent this horrible disease in India, my home country.
There are 40 million people who suffer from diabetes in India alone. People need to know that the nation is sitting on a time bomb. How can we reduce the risk, or better still, prevent it?
My colleague used the word prevent because we don't have enough resources to meet the expenses to cure this horrible silent killer. If we share the knowledge, we can certainly reduce the risks. I suggest that we screen people and find out who is on the borderline and treat them accordingly. Research shows many people will be found on borderline. We can suggest simple lifestyle changes and prevent diabetes.
Bring some simple dietary changes. Stop smoking, stop using alcohol, pan masala, and eat pure food, organic food that is grown without the help of chemicals.
It is obvious that if food is grown with the help of chemicals, it will contain residues of chemicals. This body is very robust and resilient, but it is not built to eat chemicals as a part of our diet every day. For example, if you were to take half a glass of pesticides, you will die instantly. But if you were to take a drop of pesticides diluted in a jug of water, your body will be harmed over a period of time. Doctors will detect your illness after a long time. Terminal illnesses like cancer will be caused in the future because we are eating chemical food today.
This is the only option we have. We have proved that food can be better grown using cow dung, farm waste, and earthworms. Within 2 years, we found that the farmer who was dependent on chemicals has now achieved the same crop yield using natural methods growing organic food.
पहले मैं दवाई डाला करता था। अभी फिर उन दवाइयों को मैंने छोड़ दिया था। मैं ना गोबर गेरता हूँ, केचुए वाले खाद गेरता हूँ उसमें। डीएपी और यूरिया देने से क्या होता है, उसकी डीएपी की यूरिया की मात्रा बढ़ती है। इसी तरह से शराबी को शराब पहले पवा पिलाना पड़ता है, फिर 1.5 पा होती है, वैसे शराबी बढ़ता है। ऐसे इस ज़मीन की अनाज को ये हालत होगी, नशीली बन गई है ज़मीन। इसलिए उसको अनाज को रासायनिक खाद से छुटकारा दिला कर उसको ऑर्गेनिक खेती की तरफ उसको ज़मीन को मोड़ना पड़ा मेरे को।
Sudden weather changes claim many lives on a daily basis, and that must be a deep concern for all of us.
These are your headlines. Hurricane Gustav making landfall on the U.S. Gulf Coast. It struck west of New Orleans with a rash of tornado warnings and winds topping 170 kilometers an hour. Rescuers are trying to get hundreds of thousands of people who have been left stranded nearly 2 weeks after flooding in India's Bihar state. Survivors say food, shelter, and medical care are in short supply at already overcrowded relief camps.
You see, these pictures are seen on television on a daily basis. We need to help the farmer who is contributing to change the environment because he's recycling the farm waste, producing natural tasty food that's full of nutrition.
It's interesting that last year they published a result from a European-sponsored study in which they spent about £12 million, and they have grown food by organic methods in Newcastle University. And the results was an eye-opener in a way. They found out that the organically grown potatoes and kiwi fruit and salads does have about 40% more antioxidants when we compare this with the food grown by conventional ways. And interestingly, the animal reared on those farms have better quality milk, has got better level of antioxidants. That's to me is something that we simply cannot ignore. There's something good in organic food, and as you all be aware, that antioxidants has been linked with cancer, ischemic heart disease, and a stroke. And maybe that if you eat organically grown food, and it'll be good for you, you're going to live longer, have a healthier life, and it's good for the environment as well.
After all, even the world governments are waking up to the fact that there is limit to subsidizing the chemical inputs. It simply cannot continue. By bringing simple lifestyle changes, You will eat tasty, healthy, and more nutritious meals. Make your contribution in minimizing the effects of global warming.
Let's help the farmer together to be more prosperous so that he grows more natural food for us instead of taking the option of committing suicide.
The body today is burdened with chemicals. If we begin by launching an awareness campaign and take this challenge head on,
We will get the results.
to be successful, we need the participation of the government bodies, the big film personalities, and sportsmen, and indeed any icons in this noble cause to make people aware in our efforts to share our knowledge with the ordinary man in the street. Remember that Gandhiji got us the independence by simply making an appeal to the ordinary man. Once he wakes up, he will bring the change. In the modern age, Nelson Mandela did the same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, it is possible. We have no time to waste. Let's get to work together. I'm off to a couple of Eastern countries to meet people who are doing similar work in diabetes. I shall be back in India on the 13th of October and hope you will give me some time to meet you in Mumbai and tell you how we can possibly help the 40 million diabetics in India. Shahrukh, we need your support.